So do you also use WooCommerce to sell your products online? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to send custom follow-up emails after WooCommerce order. So like you, I also use WooCommerce to sell my products online, and now what I want is that as soon as we receive a new order from WooCommerce, I want to send my customer a follow-up email. So to do this, we are simply going to create a connection between WooCommerce and Gmail, and we are going to create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language using an amazing automation software which is Pabbly Connect. So if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to come with me towards my screen. Welcome to my screen everyone. In this video I'll show you how to automatically send custom follow-up emails after customer places an order on WooCommerce store. So whether it's a thank you note, usage tip, or upsell offer, or a review request, this automation helps you to stay connected with your customers and boost the post-purchase engagement without writing emails manually. So to do this, I'm just going to simply open a new tab and I'm just going to look for the landing page of Pabbly Connect simply by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. And using Pabbly Connect only, we are just going to create a connection between WooCommerce and Gmail. So Pabbly Connect is an amazing automation tool which is easy to use and requires no coding or programming knowledge, and using this only we're going to create this connection. But before we move on further and create this connection, I'll just show you something really helpful. This is Pabbly Community, where automation users, business owners and marketers connect. It's a space where users share their ideas, solutions and workflow tips. So if you are stuck at any step, the community is a great resource for guidance. So you can check out the link given in the description box below and join the Pabbly community. Alright, so now I'm just going to open the landing page of Pabbly Connect to create this automation. Over here we're just going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can simply click on this button which says sign up for free, and you're going to get 100 of tasks free every month to explore the application. But over here, I am an existing user, so I'm simply going to go towards this button which says sign in. And once I'm just going to click on this sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps, and over we're going to see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video, we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications, that too without knowing any programming or coding language. So I'm simply going to click on this access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connects account. And once I'm just going to click on this access now, it is going to open the dashboard of my Pabbly Connects account. And to get started, I'm simply going to click on this button which says create workflow. And once I'm just going to click on this create workflow, it is asking me to select the workflow builder. So we have two options right over here. The first one is the new workflow builder, which is more faster, flexible and ideal for those who want a modern interface. And the next one is the classic builder, which is perfect for users who prefer a stable and tried and tested setup. So you can use any one of this. I'm just going to use this new one. So I'm just going to go towards this select of the new one. And now it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here, I want to save the workflow in this folder which says automations, and on my dashboard you can see multiple folders which I have already created in which I save my workflows. So if you also want to create a new folder, you can simply go towards this create new folder button and create your own. I've already created many, so I'm just going to save my workflow in one of these only, and now I'm just going to name my workflow as this: send custom follow-up emails after WooCommerce order. And then I'm just going to simply click on this button which says create, and once I'm just going to click on this create, it is going to open the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger and actions are the two main principles on which our workflow is going to run. Trigger means when this happens, and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by our trigger, and that's the particular reason that we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of a trigger in a particular workflow. So by this, you can simply understand that the trigger starts the process while the actions are results for the same. For example, whenever a new order is created on WooCommerce, automatically we're just going to send the mail. So the trigger will be WooCommerce and Gmail would be our action step. So yes, I'm just going to simply set up the trigger first in order to move on towards my action. So to set up this trigger, I'm just going to simply click on this add trigger button, and now I'm just going to search for my trigger application, which is WooCommerce. And now for the trigger event, I'm just going to simply select it as as new order created and click on this connect. And once I'm just going to click on this connect, it is giving me a webhook URL. So using this webhook URL only, we're going to create a connection between WooCommerce and Pabbly Connect. So I'm simply going to copy this webhook URL. Then I'm just going to open my WooCommerce account. So over here, WooCommerce is a plugin of WordPress. So I have opened my WordPress account. And now from here, we have to go towards this settings section of WooCommerce. And after coming over here towards this settings section, we have to go towards this advanced button right over here. And after going towards this advanced button, we have to go towards this webhooks. And after coming over here towards this webhooks, we have to go towards this add webhook button given right over here. And once I'm just going to click on this add webhook, it is asking me for the webhook name. So let's say I'm just going to name my webhook as new order. So I'm just going to simply enter new order right over here. Then I'm just going to move in further. For the status, we have to keep it as active. Now for the topic, in the help text, it has clearly mentioned that select it as order created. So I'm simply going to select it as order created right over here. And then I'm just going to move in further. I'm just going to simply enter the delivery URL. It is asking me for the secret. So if you wish, you can definitely add the secret. Now it is asking me for the API version. So I'm just going to select this right over here and click on this save webhook. And once I'm just going to click on this save webhook, yes, you can see that with this, we have successfully added this webhook URL in our WooCommerce account. And with this, we have successfully created a connection between WooCommerce and Pabbly Connect. Over here in the response, we have received the webhook ID. So this is the proof of successful connection. But in the response, I don't want the webhook ID. I want the purchase details, right? Which is the new order created details. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to simply click on this recapture webhook response, and I'm just going to do the test submission to capture the webhook response. So to do the test submission, I'm just going to open my shop, and let's say I'm just going to purchase this herbal face mask right over here. So I'm just going to add this to my cart. So I'm just going to simply click on this add to cart button, and then I'm just going to click on this proceed to checkout. And now it is asking me for all of these details. I'm simply going to fill in all of these details, and I'm just going to move in further and click on this place order. And once I'm just going to click on this place order, yes, you're going to see that we have successfully placed the order. Over here is the order number, the date, the email, the total, the cash on delivery, which is payment method. So yes, you can see that with this we have successfully placed the order. And now I'm just going to open my workflow, and over here Pabbly is going to capture the response of the same order which we placed right now. So we just have to wait for a few seconds, and as you can see that Pabbly has successfully captured the response of the same order which we placed right now. We're going to see these same details which we entered during our test submission. And now using these details only, I'm just going to send a mail. So with this, we have successfully completed our trigger, and now I'm just going to move on towards my action, and we are just going to send a mail. So for that, I'm just going to click on this add action step button. Now for the action application, I'm simply going to select it as Gmail right over here. And now after selecting Gmail, I'm just going to select the action event, which is send email. And then I'm just going to click on this connect. And once I'm just going to click on this connect, it is saying to create a connection between Gmail and Pabbly Connect. And to create this, I'm just going to go towards this add a new connection and then sign in with Google. And once we click on this sign in with Google, Pabbly is going to ask me to select the Gmail account with the help of which I want to create this connection. So you simply have to select the Gmail account with the help of which you want to create this connection. And after selecting the Gmail account, what you have to do is you simply have to give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for, because your data is secure with Pabbly. All right. And once you give Pabbly all the permissions, your Gmail account will be connected. I've already connected my Gmail account, so I'm simply going to go to its this select existing connection and then save. And now it is asking me for the recipient email address. So I'm simply going to enter the email address of the customer right over here, which we have received in the response of my previous step. So as you can see that this is the email address, so I'm simply going to enter it. But we are not going to enter it manually by typing it like this or by copy pasting it, but instead I'm just going to map it. So you must be wondering, what is mapping? So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected WooCommerce as our trigger application. So we are simply going to map the details from the response of a trigger application only. And as soon as we are just going to map these details automatically, my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. So I'm simply going to search for email, and I'm just going to map this email, and now I'm just going to only fill in the required details. So these are not required, so I'm just going to move on further. It is asking me for the sender's name, so I'm simply going to enter my sender's name, which is Natural Glow Skincare. So I'm simply going to enter the sender's name. Now I'm just going to move in further. Over here it is asking me for the email subject. So I'm simply going to enter the email subject, something like this, which is thank you for your order, demo user, or the name of my customer. So I'm simply going to map the name of my customer right over here. So I'm just going to map the name of my customer, which is new user. So I'm just going to map the first name, then I'm just going to put a space, and then I'm just going to map the last name. So first I'm just going to search for name, map the first name, then I'm just going to come back over here, and now I'm just going to map the last name too. So I'm just going to put a space, and then I'm just going to map this last name too. And after mapping both of these details, I'm just going to move in further. I'm just going to select the content type as HTML right over here. If you wish, you can definitely select it as plain and enter the plain email content. Now I'm just going to select it as HTML so that I can enter the HTML email content right over here, because I want to send attractive emails, something like this, towards my customers. Alright, so for that I'm just going to simply enter the email content right over here, and now you can see that I've successfully entered the email content, and now I'm just going to map the details right over here. First I'm just going to map the name, so I'm just going to map the first name, I'm just going to put in space, and then I'm just going to map the last name too. So I'm just going to look for last name right over here, and then I'm just going to map it. Now I'm just going to move in further. Over here I'm just going to map the order number, so I'm just going to look for the order number right over here in the response of my previous step. So I'm just going to search for order number, and as you can see the order number, so I'm simply going to map it. So as you can see that this was my order number, which is 113368. So I'm just going to simply map the same 113368. So I'm just going to look for the same, and I'm just going to map it. Now I'm just going to move in further. Over here I'm just going to map the product name, so I'm just going to look for the product name right over here, and as you can see the product name is this, which is herbal face mask. So I'm just going to map it. I'm just going to map the quantity too right over here, so I'm just going to look for quantity and map it. Now I'm just going to move in further, and I'm just going to map the amount too. So I'm just going to look for amount in the response of my previous step, and I'm just going to map the total amount right over here. And after mapping all of these details, with this we have successfully completed the email content, and now we can just move on further and click on this save and send test request. And now you can see that I've successfully entered this email content, and now I'm just going to move on further. It is asking me for many other details, but all of these details are not the required details. So I'm just going to simply click on this save and send test request, and once I'm just going to click on this save and send test request, yes, you can see that we have received the positive response that we have successfully sent the mail. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to open my Gmail and go back towards the inbox, and over here in the inbox section you can see that we have successfully received a new mail. Hi new user, thank you for your recent purchase, your order number is this, and over here is the order summary. So yes, you can see that we have successfully sent a mail to new user, and with this we have successfully completed our workflow. But now I'm just going to test this workflow in real time, and I'm just going to give you a real time example. But before moving on further towards the real time example, you have to keep in mind that if you haven't sent the desired mail, what you can do is you can simply open this Gmail once again, and over here you can check that if you have mapped the details correctly or not. All right, now I'm just going to do the test submission. For that I'm just going to open the store of my WooCommerce, and over here I'm just going to purchase this herbal face mask once again, but this time I'm just going to increase the quantity. Let's say I'm just going to purchase 5 herbal face masks, and click on this update cart, and once I'm just going to click on this, I'm just going to go to this proceed to checkout button, and now I'm just going to add the details and click on this place order. And once I'm just going to click on this place order, with this we have successfully created a new order, or you can say place the order. Over here's my order number, and you're going to see the rest of the details. And now I'm just going to open my Gmail and check that if we have received the new mail using these same details or not. And now you're going to see that we have successfully received the new email. So I'm just going to open it, and we're going to see the quantity is 5, right, and the rest of the details have been changed. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow, and we've also tested it in real time, and it is running perfectly fine. And with this we have successfully created this amazing automation. So yes, now go try this amazing automation for your own business too, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect. And while trying, if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. See you in the next video with many more automation tips, everyone. Thank you for watching. So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can connect many more applications. So now if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this URL. And now go try this amazing automation for your own business too, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect.